And the one individual who was the face of corruption, knocking down more crypto innovation than fat-fingered Chris Christie trying to play Jenga, the slithering worm, Gary Gensler, testified before Congress.
Right now, unfortunately, there's significant non-compliance, and it's a field which is rife with fraud, abuse, and misconduct.
It was basically the same thing he said earlier this year. Just substitute the adjectives.
Hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi scheme.
Speaking of Elizabeth C. Warren, where the C stands for, you guessed it, happening now. Senator Warren is missing Senator Sherrod Brown and Ranking Member Senator Tim Scott opening statements to hold her court with reporters in the hallway outside of the Gary Gensler hearing. I'd like to play for you what she missed versus what she thought was more important to be talking about at the same time.
What else are these companies trying to hide? Trillions in stock buybacks, for one thing. It's why the SEC update of corporate buyback disclosure will also provide much-needed data on how executives are allocating corporate resources. That increased transparency will combine with our first-ever tax on corporate stock buybacks. Together, they should encourage companies to stop throwing trillions of dollars at buybacks that enrich executives. Instead, start investing in their workers and in innovation.
Without pro-growth regulations, we are limiting opportunities for our kids and our kids' kids from being able to take control of their own financial futures. That's why it's especially troubling that under your leadership, the SEC has failed to implement these types of pro-growth rules.
This is the extremist Republicans trying to figure out how they can use the business of the American people, doing the work we're supposed to do, as leverage to try to improve their political position.
Clearly, leveraging her political position is something Beth Warren has never done. She just happens to fly on a private jet to meetings on climate change with a net worth of $67 million on a salary of $194,000 per year. Sounds like a brilliant career of insider trading and teaming up with Big Pharma. Let's check in now on the price of XRP. Are we about to bounce, or is there one last capitulation left? From Egrid Crypto, XRP only 2,500%. If you can't see the incredible potential of XRP in the chart below, especially when breaking through the multi-year trend line, then I'm afraid there's little more I can do to convince you. You can see this right here. We've been looking at variations of this chart for a while, looking at the past performance and the explosive and parabolic growth of XRP during a bull market. If we check in with Jade, who has been very accurate of late, he tells us that the area we are in right now is a good level to dollar cost average in. We are also showing fear on the Fear and Greed Index. He also tells us that in the past, we have seen that one last capitulation at the end of each bear market, noting that this doesn't need to happen. But if it does, you do want to be prepared. Jade says, my first capitulation level I will be adding is around 36 cents to about 38 cents, and my last orders are between 20 to 24 cents. These are worst-case scenarios, and I expect these to get bought up very fast if it happens, stressing that these are the times to dollar cost average, not during the hype. And that sentiment echoed here. Top expert says narratives cannot drive XR price. And that top expert is Benjamin Cowan saying this. XRP has retraced the entirety of the movie that came after the SEC versus Ripple case. Narratives do not drive the market. Liquidity does. I'm sure by now you've heard of Ripple's recent acquisition of Fortress. But this story got a little wild. From Alex Damsker, wait, Ripple did what? Ripple is in the process of buying Fortress. Fortress had a security breach, which hit all customers, including some customers who also had Ripple. So instead of using the breach to lower the price, which totally would have been a fair move, Ripple is moving up the acquisition date, fixing the breach, and making all customers whole. What? What? Ripple? Can you buy my bank? But it seems like Fortress wasn't very transparent in this whole situation from the CEO of BitGo. Ripple has done the right thing and disclosed that a breach did occur, but Fortress still has not made a real statement about what actually happened. After the breach, Fortress reached out to BitGo. BitGo strongly advised Fortress to disclose what happened immediately. Fortress did not do that. Eventually, Fortress decided to sell to Ripple. This is a great outcome because Ripple was able to make all clients whole and will hopefully help Fortress with resources to correct the security weakness, which led to this event. Ripple is a good actor here and should be applauded. All right, let's shift gears and take another look at today's congressional hearing with Gary Gensler, a summary from Ellie Tarrant of Fox Business. Some takeaways from the Gary Gensler hearing. 1. Crypto only made up a small portion of today's questions compared to previous House hearings, where it was a bigger focus. 2. Gensler's rule-making pace and length of the comment periods are a concern in both chambers of Congress. 3. AE is becoming more of a focus. And 4. Partisanship seems to be at an all-time high. Really, today's hearing was just a warm-up for when Patrick McHenry and his team of hard hitters get a crack at the gear bear.
He's so bad at his job. I mean, frankly, what he's highlighted is we don't just have a Gary Gensler problem. We have a problem that's structural with the SEC. So part of it is Gary Gensler has been uniquely bad. With respect to crypto regulation, it's like Hotel California. You can check in, but you can never leave. They go into endless discovery. Almost no one ever gets a no action letter after years and years of discovery.
I'm reclaiming my time. The answer is 0.
This is pretty interesting as we talk about this technology extending past the financial world. Finance Pay and SolveCare joined forces to revolutionize healthcare payments with cryptocurrencies. For those who don't know, SolveCare is an amazing Web3 project. It's like if Uber and Web had a baby. It offers patients and healthcare providers from anywhere in the world the ability to connect in a decentralized and secure way to exchange health services. From SolveCare, CEO Pradeep Gul, by integrating Binance Pay into SolveCare's Care Wallet, we are taking a moment to step towards making healthcare payments more effortless and seamless for all Care Wallet users. The potential impact of this partnership is immense, considering sheer scale of the healthcare industry valued at over $8 trillion. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the G20 summit that just wrapped up in India from the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. I believe the Middle East will be the new Europe. In 5 years, Saudi Arabia will be a completely different country. Followed up with, this is the Saudi war. This is my war. I want to see the Middle East on top of the world before I die. On the one side, you have this guy looking to make Saudi Arabia more relevant than Europe in just 5 years. Meanwhile, our fearless leader couldn't even pronounce his name. I particularly want to thank Prime Minister Modi and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and President von der Leyen and the European Commissions. Since he's not speaking today, I wanted to. Well, maybe he...
I particularly want to thank Prime Minister Modi and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and President von der Leyen, and the European Commissions. And since he's not speaking today, I wanted to, maybe he is speaking today. I had a note he wasn't speaking at any rate.
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.